everyone, welcome to the Artistry booth here at Creativation 2020, and I have Ashley with me.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we're going to be showing you some really fab new products, things you haven't seen before. So let's move on over and we can talk through them. So first of all, they have 4 new marker packs. We've got some really fun ones. So tell us about them, Ashley.
So we have our pastel pack, we have our Nomi Botanical, we have our pack of black with different size tips, and then we also have our primary pack.
And so the black also has different nibs in it. So whilst our colors are still in the chisel, the black is going to have your different nibs. So if you want to use the electronic smart cutters, if you want to draw with it by hand, all those kinds of things, it's great for that. And then if I rotate this round, we can talk about the new substrates that you have as well. So
Sure, yes, we wanted to make sure that we showed that there were different types of materials that you could use with iron-on ink. So we have a metal keychain, a maple keychain, and a plastic keychain. We have textured coasters, bookmarks, which are metal, bag tags in all those 3 types as well. We have a decorative metal panel and a picture frame, which can both be done vertical or horizontal, whichever you prefer. And then we also have some sublimation supplies to go with your iron-on ink, so that way you can have a successful project. And these are tools that sublimation businesses have used for years that are not available to the craft market until today.
yeah, and so something like that is the project mat, which is perfect because you can do at-home projects like the smaller projects. You don't need a big heat mat and things.
Exactly.
And you can also use it. It's a great thing to stamp onto. It's a really nice surface, but it's heat proof. So if you're doing your shrinky dinks, you can use it for all your other crafting as well.
Exactly.
Which is so great.
It's made out of silicone, so it'll take a lot of heat and it won't be releasing anything back into the air.
Right. All right, so let's move on to these. So I'm super excited about these. I love this ink pad. So all of a sudden you can take your Artistry markers with your iron-on ink in and you can color. You don't have to draw anymore.
Exactly.
So I can't draw to save my life. I can color really well. So what they did is they've taken that ink and put it into an ink pad so we can all use all of our beautiful critter stamps, our animals, our mandalas, all of those things.
Exactly.
And then we've also added to the range some back to front sentiments. So these are reverse sentiments, no mirroring. Thank you, Ashley.
Yes, no mirroring required for our
same
stamps.
with the stencil. So all of it is already mirrored and reversed for you. Really, really easy. And so you can use it for everything. And they're a nice size too. And there's an acrylic block to go with it with grid lines so we can line these things up. And then I'll let Ashley tell us about the more technical things.
Yes, so we have a tumbler wrap, which we'll get to in a second so we can show you what that's used for. We also have silicone paper, project protective paper. So what's great about this is silicone paper has been used by sublimation businesses for years, and what's great about silicone is it traps that dye so it doesn't get re-released anywhere on your heat plate or your project mat. And this, up until today, has only been available in sheets, and we know the crafters love rolls, so we wanted to make that available into a roll so you can add it to your collection. So we have that as well. And then we also have some more blanks. This is a poly canvas zip case that we made especially for us. This isn't available anywhere else. I love
it's so nice and thick, and it's bright white too, so anything that you color, you're going to get those true colors on as well.
It's really nice. And also what's great is that it has a nice lining on the inside, so technically you don't need to even put anything in between to have it transferred, so it's really high quality. We also have pet bandanas in different sizes, so you can make...
They're so cute.
Yes, those fun projects for those fur babies. And then, so one of the blanks that has received a lot of attention this weekend is our tumbler, our sublimation tumbler. And for the iron-on ink with the tumbler, what you have to do is the first part of the project is the same. You color on regular paper, design.
Which we're going to do in a minute.
Yes, we're going to design on paper, and then you take our heat tape and you tape it on here, and then you take this tumbler wrap, okay, which is open on both ends, and then you put it around the tumbler, apply a heat gun just to shrink that tumbler wrap down so that applies the pressure, and then you put it in your craft toaster oven at 375 for 5 minutes. And so that is how you get that little odd shape, the little egg, that egg shape, right? Because as you can see, even on these downsides, we're able to get the design all the way to the bottom. So that's how we do that with that tumbler wrap.
And it's so cool. I mean, if anyone's wondering about the sleeves that go on it, think of the basket wraps that lots of us have done for events and things like that, where you put them on and then you shrink it with your heat tool or your hot hair dryer. That's exactly what that is, but it's going to do it on here, and then it's even more heat resistant to go in the toaster oven.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we have our line of t-shirts. They're great. You can touch them. They feel like cotton. They don't feel like dry.
They're nice and thick too. too. They're not like a see-through white, which I think is just really nice too.
Yes. I don't think we've...
Freeze, don't move. Go ahead, keep your hand there. Be fixed right here, and will you turn towards the camera a little bit more so you can see your faces?
Yes,
so you can see your
yes.
face? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, just continue.
So then we have our heat tape, which I want to highlight for a second. So heat tape is really important in your iron-on ink project. It keeps those projects in place while you're pressing, so that way you don't have any shifting or what we like to say ghosting. So we get those clean lines. So we have that available. It's green and it fits in your Scotch tape dispenser.
That's the great thing. But remember not to use anything like Scotch tape because it will just melt and stick to your project. So you really do need the protective heat tape. And the other thing I wanted to highlight was the protective paper. So if you have anything really that irons on, the protective paper is great. If you're using easy presses and stuff like that, it is great for all of those things. And it stops bleeds of inks. So if you're like pressing anything on that you've already got and you're doing that on the thing, this is going to stop that bleeding. You know, I'm sure we've all had our heat mats and we've got transfers on it.
Right.
You don't have to worry if you use this on there. So lots of different options there too.
And because it's made out of silicone, again, it can withstand that high heat that you might be applying without releasing anything back into the air.
Exactly. And we should also mention the protective mat. If you have one of those oopsies on that protective mat, it will not release that ink back. So if you've ever used like the Easy Press mat, I know I've made a mistake doing a double-sided t-shirt and I've got my ink on it and it takes me forever to lift that back out, but that doesn't happen with the protective mat.
Right, the silicone will hold that in.
Exactly. So lots of things. All right, let's make one.
Yeah, let's do the fun part.
So I'm using the new plastic keychain here, and I really like how you put trace me. So whatever shape you're doing, whether it's like the ornaments, the bookmarks, the first thing we want to do is take your pencil, and the pencil doesn't sublimate, does it?
Right, so pencil, pen, Sharpie, that won't transfer.
So I'm just going to roughly draw around it, and all that does is just tell me really where to put my design. You could add the little hole in the top if you wanted to, but whatever you need to do. And then you could use one of the new back to front stencils. You could take the new stamp pad, which is awesome and my absolute favorite. And this is the new reverse stamp. This is Friend. And you can use it in a MISTI and things too. It's not harmful. Or in an acrylic block. And you can just stamp out. I could color this in, or I could just sublimate it and iron it on exactly as it is now. Or you can take a regular, if it's a pattern stencil, you can draw through that. And as I say, we have the back to front letters as well. And so once you're done, it's going to look something like this. I did my HH.
Love it.
And we've got that variety of colors, so you can see what the tips look like here. One thing to point out is you'll notice the colors look different to the tips. You're going to see the magic of that in a minute. So that's an important thing, I think, for people to know.
Yes.
Is it doesn't color at the end, but the end result will look like the tip of the pen.
Yes, and that's actually the same for traditional sublimation. Like our lanyards, when that was printed out, it did this Creativation logo.
Right.
Wasn't as beautiful as it is right now.
Yes.
So yeah, just like traditional sublimation, it's going to be a little dull and not exactly the same. So that's why you want to reference the tips to see what that color is going to come out to look like.
Okay. So the next step is we need to go over to the heat press and then add it to our blank. So I'm going to take my beautifully colored in piece and my blank here. Now remember that your blank hole, where that is, because you want your key ring or whatever your substrate is to be the right way up. Put it over, and I'm going to use our heat-proof tape. And again, it's in that little pretty Scotch tape dispenser. You can see it, so you can put it in any of those. I have mine in a mermaid at home.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we're going to take our protective paper that we've already cut down, and we're going to sandwich it top and bottom. And then we'll put it into our heat press.
So you always want to make sure that the blank is on the bottom and your design is facing the top of your heat press. So this is your little sandwich.
We'll use multiple hands because we're holding things.
Yes, thank you. We're going to press this for 45 seconds.
All right, so once it beeps, you know it is cooked. But I should also mention, because we're going to give it a second just to cool down a little bit, because it's super hot right now. You don't just have to use a heat press. As much as you're going to want one after you start doing it, you can absolutely use like a household iron that has no steam holes, because you don't want any cold spots in there. You can also use, if you have an easy press or any of those, you can use those kinds of things in there as well. So you can see on our protective paper, there's just a little bit of transfer on there, and that's why we use it, so it doesn't go onto your iron or your heat press or whatever you're using. And then we're just going to leave it to cool for a few seconds. Again, you can use that protective mat that we had to let it cool. So now we get to do the fun part, which is the reveal. Okay, so I'm going to peel this off of here with our tape. And here you can see my finished keyring. I mean, so cute. And you can see those colors really match up now to what we were expecting. And then I can add my key tab and my key ring and turn it into one that I can hang on my bag or my craft bag maybe, something like that. So really, really fun. So these products were just released at this show. They're brand new. We're super excited to share them with you. You can watch out on the Hedgehog Hollow channel or follow at Artistry on social to find out where you can buy them, when you can buy them, because they'll be available really soon. And it is addicting. So
yeah, so much fun, and we're so happy to be here sharing it with you guys.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ashley, and we'll see you again soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and thumbs up. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.